Imagine standing in the middle of a calm, peaceful day. Sunlight streaming down, birds chirping, and everything feels perfect. Now imagine that this same sun, the very source of life for our planet, could unleash a catastrophic storm powerful enough to wipe out everything we've built. The sun isn't just a symbol of warmth and life. It's also a massive ball of energy, capable of sending out violent solar flares and coronal mass ejections, CMEs, that could change the world as we know it. These aren't just distant possibilities or science fiction. These are real threats lurking silently in space. CMEs, massive bursts of solar wind and magnetic fields, carry enough energy to cripple satellites, destroy communication systems, and even cause widespread power outages that could last for months. Imagine a world where you can no longer make a phone call, check your email, or even turn on a light. The very technology that drives modern civilization would come to a grinding halt. It's a frightening thought, isn't it? But what's even more terrifying is the contrast between the sun's life-giving force and the destructive potential it holds. How can something that nurtures life also pose such a massive danger? The question is, are we truly prepared for the possibility of a solar storm that could throw humanity into chaos? In the next part of this video, we'll explore the phenomenon of solar storms and CMEs in detail, how they happen, their potential impact on Earth, and why this isn't something we can afford to ignore. The phenomenon of solar storms and CME, coronal mass ejection. The sun, the very thing that sustains life on Earth, is also a hidden enemy. Its powerful solar storms, known as coronal mass ejections, CMEs, have the potential to turn our planet into a hellhole, destroying technology and paralyzing civilization as we know it. These storms don't just threaten us, they are capable of tearing apart the fabric of our modern world. When we think of Earth and Venus, we often consider them as similar planets, both rocky and within the habitable zone of the solar system. But the impact of a CME is far more devastating on Earth. Why? Because we have built our entire existence on the fragile foundation of technology, and that technology is extremely vulnerable to solar storms. While Venus might have its own intense atmosphere, it's not reliant on satellite communication or power grids. Earth, on the other hand, depends on these every second of every day. CMEs are massive eruptions of hot ionized plasma from the sun's surface. These plasma bursts travel through space, carrying with them intense magnetic fields and massive amounts of energy. When these particles collide with Earth's magnetic field, they create massive storms that can disrupt everything from GPS signals to power grids. Imagine a world without electricity, where communication systems are down and transportation is halted. That's the kind of world CME storms could create. These solar storms are not a rare occurrence. They happen frequently, especially during solar maximum, the peak of the sun's 11-year cycle. And each time, the potential for damage grows greater. It's not a matter of if a major CME will hit us, it's a matter of when. The sun is continuously throwing out these bursts of energy, and while some miss Earth, others come dangerously close. The cause of these storms lies deep within the sun itself. When solar material, plasma, breaks free from the sun's surface and shoots out into space, it brings with it a burst of magnetism, creating what we call a solar flare. These powerful flares release vast amounts of energy, and if Earth is in the line of fire, they create a magnetic storm that disrupts our technological infrastructure. The impact is severe. Satellite systems, which rely on delicate electronics, can be fried by these high-energy particles. Our power grids, vulnerable to magnetic interference, can suffer massive blackouts that could last for days, weeks, or even months. The modern world, which depends so heavily on technology, would be thrown back into a pre-industrial state, unable to function in the way we are accustomed to. The sun, while giving us life, also holds the potential for devastation. If we are unprepared, we could face catastrophic consequences. It's not just a cosmic phenomenon, it's a clear and present danger to our civilization. The history of solar storms that have occurred. Solar storms are not a new phenomenon. In fact, they've occurred throughout history, leaving lasting impacts on Earth. One of the most infamous events was the Carrington Event of 1859, a massive solar storm that wreaked havoc on the planet's telegraph systems. The Earth's magnetic field was disturbed, and the telegraph systems, our primary form of communication at the time, were severely damaged, with some lines even catching fire. Imagine, in an era where communication was solely dependent on wires and signals, such a disruption would have been catastrophic. Now, scale that to the modern world, and the implications are frightening. Despite the sun being the source of life on Earth, its storms can be a deadly threat. This is the paradox we face. A celestial body that sustains us can also destroy us. Just like the differences between Earth and other planets in the solar system, each solar storm carries unique consequences. Some might light up the skies with stunning auroras, while others could cripple technology and disrupt daily life in ways we can barely comprehend. The solar storm releases an enormous amount of plasma, or charged particles, into space. When these particles collide with Earth's magnetic field, they can cause beautiful auroras, but they can also do much more harm. Satellites in orbit are vulnerable to the high-energy particles, which can fry delicate circuits. Our power grids, which depend on stable magnetic fields, can experience large-scale failures. Imagine cities in complete darkness for days, weeks, or even months. The beauty of the auroras would be overshadowed by the chaos unfolding on the ground. The cause of these solar storms lies deep within the sun. When solar flares or coronal mass ejections, CMEs, erupt, they release massive amounts of energy. The energy and magnetic fields associated with these eruptions are powerful enough to disturb Earth's own magnetic field, causing geomagnetic storms that can paralyze critical infrastructure. While the visual effects, like auroras, may be beautiful, the underlying damage is far from harmless. Satellites can go offline, communication systems can be disrupted, and the effects on power grids can lead to widespread outages. These solar storms are a reminder that the sun is both a life giver and a potential destroyer. The Carrington Event may have occurred more than 150 years ago, but the sun is still capable of unleashing such storms at any moment. If a storm like Carrington's happened today, the consequences would be even more devastating, affecting everything from GPS systems to electricity grids, and bringing modern civilization to a halt. The worst-case scenario. Carrington 2.0 in the modern world. We've witnessed countless cosmic phenomena, dust storms on Mars, solar flares, and even violent space weather. But nothing is more dangerous than a powerful CME storm like Carrington 2.0. If it were to hit in today's world, imagine a solar storm of this magnitude in the modern age. The consequences would go far beyond Earth, affecting our satellites, communication systems, and global networks. The very technology we rely on every single day, everything from GPS navigation to electricity grids, would be obliterated. the infrastructure of our entire world would collapse in an instant. Picture this, a massive burst of plasma from the sun, carrying millions of tons of superheated gas, racing toward Earth at unimaginable speeds. As this plasma collides with Earth's magnetic field, it would trigger stunning auroras in the sky. But these beautiful lights are nothing compared to the chaos unfolding on the ground. Satellites would lose their signals, plunging us into a technological blackout. Power grids would fail, leaving cities in complete darkness. Transportation systems would be halted, and communication across the globe would come to a standstill. The science behind this is deeply unsettling. Solar storms occur when the sun releases an enormous amount of energy, expelling a massive burst of plasma. This is what we call a coronal mass ejection, CME. When these charged particles collide with Earth's magnetic field, they can cause geomagnetic storms that disrupt the electrical infrastructure we rely on. It's like a massive explosion in space that shakes Earth's magnetic shield, sending shockwaves of electromagnetic energy across the planet. This can fry satellites, disrupt power systems, and cause widespread communication failures, completely paralyzing society. What's even more concerning is the vulnerability of modern technology. Unlike the past, where a storm like Carrington would only have affected telegraph wires, today's society depends on high-tech infrastructure, all of which is highly sensitive to electromagnetic disturbances. A Carrington 2.0 would bring our digital world to a grinding halt. But despite the grim picture, there is hope. While the damage caused by such an event would be devastating, we do have the tools to study the sun's behavior and develop technologies to shield our infrastructure. The key to minimizing the impact lies in preparation, investing in research, reinforcing satellite systems, and developing strategies to protect our power grids. We've learned from the past, and it's through that knowledge that we can build a more resilient future. Though the threat of Carrington 2.0 is real, it's not inevitable. With innovation and vigilance, we can ensure that our civilization continues to thrive, even in the face of the most powerful forces of nature. The most dangerous regions when a solar superstorm hits. A solar superstorm is not just a terrifying phenomenon. It can create specific regions of danger where the effects are felt the hardest. Much like how volcanic eruptions reshape entire planets, a superstorm from the sun can alter the very surface of Earth, destroying communication systems and crippling power grids. The areas most vulnerable to these solar storms are those closest to the poles and the equator. These regions, where Earth's magnetic field is most concentrated, will bear the brunt of the damage when a superstorm strikes. Just as volcanoes can wipe out everything in their path, solar storms can obliterate critical infrastructure, endangering the survival of our civilization. In the polar regions, where Earth's magnetic field is strongest, the charged plasma from the sun will first hit. These areas will receive the largest bursts of energy from the CME, disrupting communication, navigation systems, and power grids. Nations that rely heavily on satellite communication, such as those in northern latitudes, could experience catastrophic failures, with no way to regain contact with the outside world. The poles, typically seen as remote and unaffected by many earthbound phenomena, will become ground zero for the destruction. The next most vulnerable regions are those along the equator, where Earth's magnetic field is weaker but still susceptible to solar energy. In these areas, the effects may not be as immediate as near the poles, but they can still be devastating. Large cities, especially those that depend on high-tech infrastructure, could be completely paralyzed. The charged particles from the sun, when they collide with Earth's magnetic field, will create strong radiation bursts that disrupt aviation, communications, and even cause electrical fires in sensitive equipment. It's not just a disruption to your daily life. A CME hitting the equator could also lead to mass outages in critical services. Airports could halt flights for weeks, satellites used for GPS and weather forecasting would go dark, and power outages could spread to millions. Even more critical systems like hospitals, water plants, and emergency services could lose power, leaving vulnerable populations at risk. This energy burst from the sun is essentially a cosmic assault on our most advanced technologies. When the hot plasma from the sun interacts with Earth's magnetic field, it generates radiation so powerful it could fry electronic components and satellites, cause surges in electrical systems, and make it nearly impossible to maintain technological operations. For regions with high-tech infrastructure, such as urban centers and developed countries, the fallout would be swift and devastating. The consequences of such a solar superstorm could change the way we live, and we need to face the reality. These storms can happen at any time. The regions that will feel the most significant impact are those that rely on modern technology for their day-to-day functioning. The key to protecting ourselves lies in preparation, understanding the vulnerabilities of these regions, reinforcing infrastructure, and creating systems that can handle these potential threats. Solar storms are a very real danger, but with the right precautions, we can mitigate their devastating effects on our planet. Hope and long-term solutions. To protect Earth from the devastating effects of solar storms, we must focus on long-term solutions. Scientists have been working tirelessly to explore potential strategies ranging from developing artificial magnetic shields to enhancing satellites to withstand the immense forces of CME storms. These solutions aren't just hypothetical. They are actively being researched and have the potential to change the way we protect our planet. Imagine a protective wall around Earth, constructed from advanced technologies, similar to the massive icebergs you might see when flying over the Arctic, towering and solid, shielding us from the solar waves. This space wall would be designed to block or deflect the intense energy bursts from the sun, preventing them from reaching Earth's most vulnerable systems. It's not a far-off dream. It's a possibility that modern science is beginning to explore. In fact, research into magnetic fields and satellite technologies is already showing promising results. Scientists are developing systems that could shield our power grids and communication networks from the disruptive forces of solar storms. By improving the resilience of our satellites and enhancing their shielding, we could prevent them from being fried by the high-energy particles released during solar eruptions. Additionally, creating protective layers within the Earth's atmosphere or even deploying artificial magnetic shields could reduce the long-term damage caused by these storms. But the question remains, can we actually build a global defense system strong enough to withstand a superstorm like Carrington 2.0? It's a daunting challenge that requires unprecedented breakthroughs in both science and technology. The idea of creating such a robust shield would demand an investment of time, money, and intellectual resources. But it is a question worth exploring. What would it take to safeguard our world from the most powerful forces of nature? While the obstacles are formidable, the potential rewards are immense. With the right research and creative solutions, we can build a future where humanity is no longer at the mercy of solar storms. Investing in these long-term solutions could ensure the survival of our civilization, even in the face of the most catastrophic solar events. The key is innovation, preparation, and global cooperation. By prioritizing these efforts, we can secure a safer future for all. The challenges are great, but with determination, we can create a resilient world, ready to face the unknowns of the cosmos. The storms in our solar system are not just roaring forces of nature. They are extreme, dangerous phenomena. Space is truly an inhospitable realm where life as we know it is nearly impossible to survive. The vastness of the universe holds challenges that are beyond our comprehension, pushing the limits of what we understand about survival and existence. From the Sun to Jupiter and the distant planets, each celestial body offers unique atmospheric and environmental conditions. The massive storms on Jupiter or the deadly atmosphere of Venus are prime examples of the destruction the universe can unleash. These conditions create challenges that humanity has never faced, reminding us just how fragile life on Earth truly is. But the universe extends beyond our solar system. From neutron star winds to extreme gravitational forces, space holds mysteries and wonders we can't even begin to imagine. The forces of nature in this vast expanse defy the imagination, each discovery unveiling new possibilities and dangers. These cosmic forces, these natural wonders, show us that we have only scratched the surface of our exploration of the universe. The universe is a place full of surprises, and it's these challenges that make it so magnificent, so beautiful. And it is in these very challenges that we find our purpose: to explore, to learn, and to uncover the secrets of the cosmos.